illuminate our salvation, always and everywhere to give you thanks, Lord, Holy Father, Almighty, Eternal God. For you have given your children sacred time for the renewing and purifying.
Father, what are you praying for during this part of the preface?
Hello, I'm Father Vin. Thanks for joining me to learn about the wonders of the Mass. In last week's episode, Father Tim began sharing with you a little bit about the preface, how it has 3 parts. In this episode, I'd like to explore with you the second part of the preface, the priest's prayer. The second part of the preface is what is called the priest's prayer. This prayer always begins in the same way and then ends with a specific intention that's related to the liturgical time of the year. Recall now the first part of the preface is the people's dialogue, which ends with the faithful responding, "It is truly right and just." Then the priest begins the second part of the preface by saying, "It is truly right and just, our duty and our salvation, always and everywhere to give you thanks, Lord, Holy Father, Almighty and Eternal God." You'll notice that the first thing the priest says is a repeat from the response of the people. It is truly right and just. He does so to affirm the people's statement, it is right and just, to give thanks to the Lord. And then he instructs the faithful that in fact it is our duty and our salvation to do so. This is quite a claim, the perfect justice, the most worthy thing, our ultimate duty. And in fact, our very salvation is to give thanks to the Lord. This is the heart of our relationship with God. The Greek word Eucharistia means giving thanks. It is the reason we are gathered at Mass. The last half of the priest's prayer in the preface will recall for us something specific to the liturgical calendar. For example, at Advent, he will pray about the Nativity of the Lord, or during Lent, it will be about the temptation of Jesus in the desert. As you attend the Mass and listen to the preface, I invite you to listen closely for the intentions of the priest's prayer here. As we give thanks to God, the word of this part of the preface will help you be attentive to the specific way God is assisting and guiding us and loving us in the Mass. Listen to the boldness of the priest's prayer. It is truly right and just, our duty and our salvation, always and everywhere to give you thanks, Lord, Holy Father, Almighty and Eternal God. And be ready to respond in joy with Holy, 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 which we'll learn more about in the next week's episode. Thank you for joining us on the segment of the Wonders of the Mass. And remember, when you leave the Mass, live the Mass.